I'm Beth, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel that I'm still figuring out what it's going to be exactly. I'm a homemaker who works part-time from home, and I homeschool our 3 children, and I'm a wife. I've been married for 18 years, and our oldest is a sophomore, our middle child is a freshman, and our youngest is a 5th grader. And we have been living in a smallish town for a while now, about 13 years, 14 years, and love it. We live on a quiet street, and we have always kind of differed on opinion, my husband and I, of where to live, but now that we're in a smaller town, I don't want to leave, or I at least would look at even a smaller town, which is a running joke between us because I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. And our homeschooling journey is newer. It's only our 3rd year. So we pulled a couple kids out of middle school to start this journey. It was good for our family for various reasons. And we, for the most part, we all love it. I would have started homeschooling in the very beginning, except I didn't have the confidence and I didn't know where to find resources. So here we are trying something new, and I don't know exactly what this channel is going to look like. It's going to be a mix of homemaking and homeschooling. We feel the call that I need to be home again with our kids at the end of the year, which is so weird. I'm of the generation that you work, mama, you go to work at least when they go to kindergarten. That's where you need to be, you know, earn that degree. And I do. I have a bachelor's, but I wish I had like hindsight to say, when your youngest goes to kindergarten, just sit for a minute and see, is that extra money and that time and stress away is that actually what your family needs? Are there things you can do in the fringe hours, the quiet moments when everyone's playing and off, and you have a few minutes, you know, to work? Is there something you can do with that? And I wish I'd had that hindsight. Not that the last few years, a little over 6 years that I've been back to work were bad. It's just, I see now that there can be something different. So that's what this channel is for, just to look at homemaking a bit. My favorite thing right now is homemaking YouTube channels. I watch it more than Netflix or Disney Plus, and it's really enjoyable just to see other moms and get some other ideas. So maybe I can do that for you too. I also don't see many homemaking videos with 40-year-old moms, or at least not that I feel like they're 40-year-old moms, and that was my milestone this year. And so this is like for the midlife mom, maybe I should look at what midlife age range is actually, and we'll just get to know each other a little bit. So I'd love to know in the comments, do you homemake exclusively, or do you work part-time? Do you work full-time? You know, kind of what draw you to this channel. Do you homeschool? And yeah, we're just gonna, you know, little bits and pieces of our week scattered throughout the video, and just a tiny bit of homeschooling planning here and there. I don't do a ton. I do a very exclusive amount. Keep it simple. And then kind of look around my home a little bit. It's always a work in progress, which I feel like everyone's is. We have some projects we want to get done in the next little while. And welcome to Beth Homeschooling. This is a wooded area with the most beautiful creek, kind of a river in some areas, that we went hiking to recently. We are winding down and starting school for the year, our homeschool, and we just wanted to go outdoors. There's beautiful mountains around as you hike up the mountain, and we took some time to put our feet in the river, and it was really relaxing. Then we decided to do a picnic in the car. My daughter packed this with my youngest, and they had a lot of fun doing that together. And the watermelon and the cold soda were really a big deal out there at the end. It was probably 95 degrees, but super fun. You can see the minivan is loaded up, our jug for just always packing enough water. It's super handy, and it's not too big. And then just admiring the view, so many trees. And then this area is my daughter's room, and we just got our bulletin board up recently, and I thought it'd be fun to just put some of her fabric scraps up, and just in a way to let her know I was thinking about her. She really likes to do a lot of crafts and things, and just thought having a bulletin board would be handy for that. As well as I went thrifting in our little town, and it's not the greatest selection. I pretty much never find anything at that thrift store. But Sunday morning came around and it was breakfast in fashion. I'm picking out a candle for while I tidy up. I don't burn a lot of candles in the summertime, but I really do enjoy them all the time in the fall and winter. But sometimes your house just needs a little bit of a refresh. So this one's my favorite. It's a little heavy for the middle of the day, but this is from a trip to England a couple years ago to what is probably my most favorite store in the world now, is Daylesford. But I'm gonna just go ahead and put this one back. I thought about burning it, but I'm gonna grab something a little bit fresher, a little bit lighter, because it's middle of the day, super bright. It's gonna be kind of a hot day. Where we live, it's hot until mid-October. I don't even buy my kids new pants for the season, for the winter, until at least mid-October, because there's just no point. We're still wearing shorts like October 1st. So we're gonna just grab a different candle, go through my selection. I really like the magnolia candles, the ones from the silos that Joanna Gaines did. A few years ago, I went there on a vacation because my friend lives about an hour away, and it's the most beautiful store. Like the way it's laid out. My favorite part was the antique section, the found section. It's so cool. And my thought was I should have driven, but it would have taken me 2 days driving to get there just so I could take stuff home. So we're gonna go through my candle selection and just kind of grab something while we tidy up. So as you can see, my candle selection isn't anything fancy. These are just some tapers. I'd like to add to it, get something unique, but I just have a few because I don't like a ton of scents. This one is one my son made. He tried a candle business for a couple of years, and they're just kind of hard because there's a lot of overhead. But this one is probably my favorite, the Fresh Start candle from Magnolia, and I actually have thought about buying the 3-wick version that's gigantic, just because it's just amazing. It is so delicious. So now I'm just doing some tidying on Sunday. Last week I try not to do a ton on Sunday, but this was a week where we didn't do our normal chores, so I just wanted it tidy for Monday. There is something about Monday being not the tidiest thing that has always just kind of unsettled me, so I try to have the whole house clean for most of Sunday, but it's not always the case. And you'll actually start to see some of the projects we need to do, but it's been summer and we've ignored them. Then I decided to just go out to my yard and grab some flowers, and this is kind of a newer thing for me the last couple of years for a picking garden. And I washed these throw blankets for the living room. As you can see, the couch pillows had been recently used for, who knows, probably a fort for my kids. But this blanket is probably my favorite in the house for lounging on the couch and just reading with. And it just has the funnest texture. I actually take it to a lot of spring soccer games when I'm sitting out watching my son, because it's just the right amount of having a layer. So, and then we just have a really fluffy one. And these just live next to the couch, and they always make the house look cozy for sure. And then I'm just doing a whole chicken in my enamel Dutch oven. This is actually my favorite Sunday dinner because then we have leftovers for the entire week. And we have a good sized kitchen. It's not the biggest, and you'll see later we added a pantry, is what we call it, on the other side of the dining room opposite this view to help with some of that storage. And then after this, I decided to pull out a game with the kids. This is a version of Sorry from my grandfather that he created years ago, and my late father made the board, which is a beautiful thing. And then everything is tidy, and I'm about to go hang out the kids. We unfortunately do not have an office space or somewhere good to hide the computer with Homeschool, so it lives there with our pantry, and there's our little bouquet that just makes everything so sweet. And you'll start to notice, and I'll do a video on it, I like to find vintage antique pieces, but not too many. And that's a vintage box, a vintage fishing basket, and just the general layout of our living room. My coffee table was something my sister and I did back when I was 15, and I am trying to find something else and move the coffee table to our basement. But my youngest is a big rock hounder and has a collection, so they have to stay contained in one spot. And my favorite chairs, they're West Elm. I've had them for a few years now, and our bookcase needs a little bit of a dusting, but we call it the library. And these videos help you see all the things you need to fix, like that picture frame. But these are another antique. They're over 130 years old, and they're star maps. And then just some knickknacks that we like to have around and just create something unique to our family. These are our plated up dinners, super simple smashed potatoes from Half Baked Harvest, and then my favorite sauce for all chicken. Then I decided to do a walk later on with my weighted vest because I think that's midlife crisis, I hear, is walking with a weighted vest. And then this is just another close-up of our side yard where a lot of my flowers come from. And I just want to thank you guys for joining along. I will be finding ways to make this channel unique as I learn more of how to do it. But thank you, friends, for joining along, and I hope you'll subscribe. And anything that I can link, I'll have in the bottom to my Amazon store in case anything was curious for you. Have a great week.